Erica Lynn Speaks podcast is a place where you can grow beyond your limitations and make an impact on the world. I am Erica Lynn. I will teach you how to take the restraints off of you, begin to live free, and become unstoppable. Go to ericalynnspeaks.com.
I say Erica Lynn Speaks. Erica Lynn Speaks.
Well, hello. This is your girl, Erica Lynn, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Erica Lynn Speaks podcast, where we play big or go home. You guys know that we have a whole lot of fun on Erica Lynn Speaks podcast every Friday live at 5, right? So before we get started, I want to make sure you share this video with everybody in your timeline. With everybody, tag them in, tell them to come on and join in, because I got some fire for you today. Fire. When I say fire, I mean fire. So you guys don't want to miss this episode of Erica Lynn Speaks podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that whenever we come back live, you get a notification so that you won't miss whatever I bring to the table for you. So I'm excited today because I have a very special guest joining me here. When we talk about trials and triumph, we all have gone through something. But to me, what's most important is how you get over it, how you move past it, and how you move forward. What steps do you take to play big, to move yourself forward? What healing work do you do? So what I got going on today is a wonderful woman. She's a wife, a mother, a philanthropist, an ordained evangelist. She is a life professional coach, author, inspirational speaker, and an entrepreneur. Her bachelor's degree is in social work. Her master's is in human services, marriage and family, and she has a PhD in Pastoral Counsel. Currently, she is pursuing her doctorate of education, community care, and counseling and traumatology, where she has completed all her coursework and is focusing on completion of her dissertation. Come on now, that sister sound bad. So I want you guys to put your hands together and help me join my guest to the show, Dr. Zowee Shanks. All right. Hello, Dr. Zowee. How are you?
Hello, I am well. How are you?
I am good. I was reading all of the intro. I said, this sister got it going on. How do she do all that she do and just stay so flawless and beautiful while she doing it?
My goodness, by the grace of the Lord, honey, by the grace of the Lord, and amazing people, because I can't say I do all this by myself, but I have amazing people in my life to help me get these things done.
Yes, that's right. Shout out to all the amazing people in Dr. Zoe's life. So yes, Dr. Zowee, I had an opportunity to do my research and read up on you, but the followers and the listeners don't know Dr. Zowee. So can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Oh, yes, certainly. So you've already said all these amazing things about me, all my accolades, right? All the things that I did concerning education. But what a lot of people don't know, prior to all of that, I grew up in the system. I grew up in kinship care. I moved from home to home, and my mom died when I was younger. And so I had a lot of things that happened to me in my life. I grew up not being able to read, not being able to write, but having those people, like I said, that was in my life that spoke life to me, that helped me move from where I was to where I am today. And so that's a little bit about me. I don't know if you wanted to know anything else, but I like to make sure I tell people that, because we normally have listeners who maybe had a background like I did, right? Who grew up in the system, who thought maybe they didn't have anybody in their life to help them get to the place that they needed to be at. But I come here to tell you, or whoever that may be thinking to themselves, how can I get out of what I'm in? You got to have the right voices in your ear. And once you get those voices, you got to make a move. And I made a move.
Yes, that's all right. And when you say voices, that means you had the people that were surrounding you pouring into you, speaking life over you, and you was obedient to those voices that was being poured into you, and followed your path and your purpose. So let's speak a little bit about those voices, and encouraging other people to surround themselves with good people or like-minded voices that help them take that next step.
Right. So first of all, I like to say the first person that spoke into my life, I never forget, her name was Dr. McKay. When I couldn't read, she started to tell me, Zowee, you can continue to allow people to feel sorry for you, right? Because I grew up without a mom, or you can do something about it. Well, I didn't really know what that meant. Mm-hmm. Erica, I did not really understand what she was saying, but I felt the love from her voice, from what she was speaking into me. And she said, Zowee, if you allow me to, I'll teach you how to read. And I was like, okay, like, girl, how we gonna do this? And she said that I was going to have to make a sacrifice. See, sometimes we want to get things quickly, but we don't want to make a sacrifice. And she said, well, if you come to my room every day, I will begin to teach you how to read. And if you learn how to read, you can go anywhere in the world sitting in your seat. And I took her up on that offer, and she began to teach me how to read. Now, let me tell you why I always mention Dr. McKay, because she was the first person in my life to show me something different than the people who were supposed to show me. And from that day forward, she set the atmosphere for other voices. I was able to decide if it was a good voice or a bad voice based on the feeling that I felt. And sometimes we ignore those things. Sometimes we ignore the feeling that we have. I think it was Dr. Maya Angelou who said it best. When people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. And so those voices that I'm talking about are people who are speaking positive, people who tell you right from wrong, right? Because we're not always right. It doesn't matter how good you are, how anointed you are. You need people who will correct you, and to have those voices in your life to be able to do that. And like you said, I didn't just listen. I took action and I did my part, because faith without works is dead. So I put work behind the faith.
Amen. Amen to that. And that's action is one of the chapters in my book, right? Because after we go through all of the healing process, after you go through your journey and you learn all that you can learn, what good is all of that if you do nothing about it? If you do nothing with the things that you're taught, what good is the education that you obtain if you didn't use it for your path or your purpose? Some people do go to school and get an education and go into a whole different field. However, something that you learn somewhere in there, you're going to use it at some point in your life, and taking action is important. Oh, yes, sister. All right, now. So, Dr. Zowee, before I go any further, I just want to touch on you stated that your mother passed away, at an early age. Can you just, share a little bit of your background story on as far as how that brought you up, or what challenges that, you had from that early on in life?
Oh, sure. So my mom passed away when I was 5 months, 5.5 months, actually. I was born in August. My mom passed away January the 1st, the first day of the year in 1979. And so from that moment, I ended up moving with my grandmother, right? And so when my mom passed away, I've never told this part of the story, but I want you to hear it first. When my mom passed away, and I began to live with my grandmother, I became a replacement to my family for my mom, meaning that everybody began to treat me as if I was still my mom there with them. And so I was nurtured in such a way that was so unhealthy. Like I was undergirded. I sucked a bottle till I was 7, believe it or not, because people didn't allow me to do anything extra. Like I told you, I couldn't read or write. So I believe that developmental stage that I was supposed to get connected to my mom, I did not receive. I didn't know how to naturally attach myself or to trust. Even as a young girl, I didn't know how to do these things. Now, fast forward 7 years later, after my mom passed, my grandmother also passed. And so when my grandmother passed, I had to move from Mississippi to Nashville, because at that point we didn't have anybody in Mississippi who was there to take care of us. And so not having a mother and watching other people with their mom was really detrimental to my psyche, to my mindset. And I always used to find myself feeling like I had a void, that I needed to connect myself to women that was really not healthy, but because I had a place in my life that was missing. So I thought I needed to connect myself with unhealthy women. And I'm telling you, that's how I ended up going to school for social work and different things like that. Not necessarily for myself or for other people. I did it for me because I needed to understand, why was I behaving like I was? Why was everything so big in my life? So I thought. But man, I just remember falling in love with Jesus. I remember not just falling in love with Jesus, because that's so big to people, right? People be like, well, Zowee, how did it really happen? Mm-hmm. I had voices. Mm-hmm. I had people in my life that every step when it seemed hard, somebody would show up like a Dr. McKay. If it wasn't Dr. McKay, it was another teacher. And then when I went off to college, God put other women in my life who would begin to speak to me, teach me simple things, how to be a woman, how to love yourself. Because when you go through so much trauma and grief like I did at a early age, you don't know that love is possible. You don't know that you matter, right? And so I got around the right people who taught me these things and who I could be transparent with when things were hard for me. And so that's how I got to that place, to this place. Man, losing my mom, not knowing who she was, not hearing her voice, any of those things bothered me for a long, long time. And I used to always try to think, do I measure up to what she would want me to be? I remember wanting to be a nurse because she was a registered nurse. She was actually the first registered nurse in the Delta. And I was like, man, God, I'm going to be a nurse like my mom, right? Because that's what everybody used to tell me. She would give birth, help the doctors give birth to all the kids. And I was like, I'm gonna be just like her. Girl, I don't like needles, honey. So listen, that was not gonna happen for me. And so I was like, okay, God, I'll never forget this lady named Dr. Williams at Jackson State University. And she said, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. I want to help people though. I want to help save people's lives. And she said, well, we got a social work department over there. I was like, that's it. I'm going to the social work department. And so that's how I ended up here. That's how I ended up in this place. I tell people, because they say, Zowee, how does it feel losing your mom so early? Well, I can't really say how it feels. I've had so many women who have filled those gaps for me. They have made life, those voices have made life better for me, Yeah. And I thank God for where I've been through, what I've gone through, because it makes the work that I do that much better. It makes the women that I help and the girls that I get to mentor, it makes that just much better for me,
Yes, that's pretty powerful, Zowee. That is pretty powerful, because there is someone that is watching this podcast right now, and they have lost their parent, and they feel that void. They are looking for someone to love them or to make that connection, and they just don't know how to get started or where to go or what to look or how to fill the void. And so I always say, God connect people for a reason. And so he brought you on this podcast today for a reason, because it's somebody that needed to hear your story. And it's somebody that needed to know that it doesn't matter where you start.
Yes.
It's what you do in the middle to get you to where you're going. That's what matters. Like if you take action, that matters. And you took action by going to see the doctor to make a difference and learn how to read, because there is a lot of people today still don't know how to read, or perhaps like dyslexia is the big thing for a lot of people. I find that they can read, but the words are transluted, and so they can't read as clear as other people. And so it's a good thing that you're sharing your message, because I don't want anybody to be ashamed. I don't want anybody to be afraid. I don't want anybody to step up and say, hey, I'm 20 years old, I still don't know how to read, or I'm 20 years old, I don't have a high school diploma. And we're here today to tell you it does not matter. We want you to get started. We want you to pick up the phone, make a phone call to the nearest school, adult education.
Yes.
Reach out to Dr. Zowee and I, and we'll walk with you and help you get started on your path, because your pain is going to be your purpose, right? Your pain is going to turn out to be somebody else's treasure. So I mean, I appreciate you sharing your story, and my condolences to you for the loss of your mother. And I'm so glad that you're walking into your purpose. And the funniest thing when you were talking, I always wanted to be a social worker too. I did, because I was on welfare for so long, Dr. Zowee. I mean, like, I thought the day they took my food stamps, I cried because, you know, I didn't care about losing the cash, because I went to college, graduated, and when I graduated, you know, they took the food. They been stopped the cash, but it was when they took the food stamps, I cried. I was like, I don't know how to go to the grocery store and use real money. Like, what's that? Like, I still got actual food stamps in my photo album. You remember when the food stamps was the actual? I still got food stamps, and I was saving it for my grandkids or somebody so they could see. But as a welfare recipient, I understood the system so well. Like, seriously, I understood the system so well. I knew that if I was a social worker, that I could be on the other end helping other people to get what they need to move forward. And so that is commendable that you know, became a social worker. But what is it like being an actual social worker?
Oh man, it's amazing. Let me tell you. So listening to you right now, I'm getting excited, because in the social work arena, we have many facets. We do many things. Like, you wanted to work in that particular department, but I've always worked with kids who were just like me, who grew up in the system, who had parents who may have passed away. You know, I've always been that particular worker who only worked with kids who had issues. Like, I'm talking about mom passing away, or mom strung out on drugs, or in residential treatment facilities. So those are the things that I've always done, because like you said, your pain becomes your purpose. And so it fires me up when I get the opportunity to work with those kids who people typically turn their back on, right? And so that's what gets me, man, we get to talking about kids, honey, we'll be here all day. I'm not going to do you like that, girl. But that's what I wanted to do. I said, God, I went through hell and high water. How can I help the next child not go through this? Because see, what I did not tell you, Erica, during those times that I was going through the system, that I lived that life and I left Nashville and had to come back to Mississippi, I was sexually abused from 12 to 17, like 5 years straight, almost every night of my life. And I said, God, if I can get out of this situation, if I can go to school and make something of myself, I'm going to help the next child not have to deal with what I've dealt with. And I'm telling you, I've made that my life purpose. That's what I do. I make sure that I'm a voice for the voiceless, that I'm a safe person for children who may need that person to go talk to say, listen, I'm going through this. Can you help me? Oh, yes, baby. Oh, yes, I can. And I have the opportunity now to speak at different schools and colleges. And I tell people all the time, if you go to one adult and that person don't listen, go to the next person. Keep going until somebody hears you, because your voice matters. And so as a social worker, right, we have different things that we're passionate about, but make sure whatever you do, if there's any social workers listening to me now, girl, and you getting tired and you burnt out or whatever, go sit down for a little while, go rest, go do some self-care, right? Because our kids need us to be the best us when we show up, because we may be their lifeline. I think I got really excited now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. You know what? That's wonderful, because you are speaking life into somebody right now. You are speaking to somebody who is tired, who is overworked, overwhelmed, and underpaid, possibly. And their purpose is to touch somebody's life. And so Dr. Zowee is speaking life back into you, so that when you wake up tomorrow or Monday, you are refreshed and you going into that office or getting, I don't know how they're doing things through Zoom right now for the social workers, but you are making a difference in somebody's life, and that you're actually listening and hearing what that individual is saying and not blocking them out because of the stresses of the job Okay, now, Dr. Zowee, we're going to get them together. We're going to get them together.
Because that's true, though. You know, we all need a break sometimes, and taking a break is okay. We got to understand that if we're not good, our clients are not good, and we don't want that to be so. So I want to tell whoever is listening, I don't care if you're a social worker, you can be a teacher, you can be a first responder, right? You can be an essential employee. Take you a mental health break, because it's important. Because if you're not good, people you're helping is not going to be good either.
All right. Y'all put that in the chat box. If you're not good, the people that you're helping is not going to be good either.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a 40-second commercial break. And when we come back, I want you guys to put your questions in the chat box. If you have questions for Dr. Zowee or myself, we will be happy to answer your questions, because we want you to participate. Y'all know Erica Lynn like participation in her podcast. Come on now. Don't act like y'all just started watching my podcast. And I am so enjoying Dr. Zowee. We're going to break for a commercial.
Are you ready to become unstoppable? Be bold, live free, and walk in your fearlessness? Are you ready to be courageous? If you are ready to play big and make your mark in life, if you are ready to break free, it is time for you to realize your full purpose in life by allowing Erica Lynn to help you break free from your boundaries. Break free beyond your limitations. Elevate your power. Play big while moving into your biggest step forward in your life. To find out how, go to ericalynnspeaks.com and sign up for the One Step Beyond You signature program today.
All right. And we back. And that's right. When we said put a chat, we got somebody put the chat in there. If you're not good, then the people that you are helping is not good. That's right. You want to drop another nugget for us, Dr. Zowee?
Well, we've already said, you know, the pain that you go through would definitely become your purpose. You know, we got to always remember that we don't want to go through things in life and think, oh, woe is me. No, the things that we go through going to be the things that propel us to purpose. And that excites me all by itself, to know that I didn't go through all of this for nothing.
Yes. I always say, you know, healed people help heal people, hurt people help hurt people, and heal people help heal other people. And so when you have done your work to heal yourself, then you can reach out there and help other people. Like you can help them walk into their purpose. Like you can see their pain that they're going through and actually help them walk through their pain. But if you still hurt and they come until you hurt, you like, leave that dog, or that person did this to you, that person, and you're not able to give them great advice because you're giving it to them from a place of pain. But when you're not hurt no more, Dr. Zowee, tell them you able to look back and laugh at the pain you went through. Not that you're discounting it or discrediting, but you're able to look back and not allow it to hold you back in your life. You're able to continue to move forward.
Right. And also I want to add this too. If your tank is empty, right? If you're going through things in life and you say, listen, I feel like I'm tired. I feel like that I can't go on. You need to check your tank, your gas tank, your inner tank. How are you feeling? Because when you are at empty, and you can be like at a fourth left, you're giving out trash. What you're giving out is not good. It's not good information. It's just like your regular gas tank. If your gas tank get empty and it's almost about to cut you off, you are operating on fume. And we don't want to help people on fume. We need to help people on full. Now, Dr. Zowee, how do I get on full? Because I've been on a full for a long time. That's where you got to go back to them voices, girl. You got to go back to those people in your life who are speaking life over you. Don't go where you celebrate. Don't go where you're tolerated. Get in a room where you're celebrated at, and get around people who are telling you right from wrong. That's how you fill your tank up. Even being with Erica, she fills my tank up. You get with people who speaking back into you while you pouring out, because we need you to be on full. Not only do we need you, the people that you speaking to, they need you to be on full. And so it's imperative that you take care of you while you're taking care of other people.
That's right. And Nicole, she dropping it all in the chat box. What she say? I love Dr. Zowee. You the best. Hey, now. All right, Nicole. And what does she say? My pain has purpose. I didn't go through this for nothing. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Sometimes your pain is your test, right? And your pain is your test for your testimony.
Yeah.
And we have one more. Heal people, help heal people. That's right. That is absolutely correct. So, Dr. Zowee, I want you to, first of all, I love the nuggets that you drop. It's just like I could talk to you all day, but we only have a 30-minute podcast. First of all, I never really do this. Will you come back on the podcast again?
Oh, sure. I will.
Yes, and come back and drop some more nuggets, and we can go and definitely, we can have a couple people on the podcast. I like this new platform, and we can bring some heavy hitters on here. Let's do a panel one day do like an hour Friday. Let everybody know we're gonna do an hour. We're gonna get them some meat and potatoes. When I did the introduction, I said and sent it out to my email list today. I said, fire, 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 because when I talk to you, you touch my soul. You made me get all warm and fuzzy in the inside. I said, oh, she touched places in me that God knew that needed to be touched. And you inspired me and motivated me and which let me know that I was walking on my right path. I was walking in the place that God asked me to walk in. I'm doing what God asked me to do and not letting anything or anybody stop me. And some things that can stop you is limited to beliefs and negative thoughts and negative things in your head. But just touch on that for a brief second. The negative thoughts or negative things that you tell yourself or that you allow other people to tell you that prevent you from walking into your purpose.
Oh, definitely. Listen, I'm glad you touched on that, because the voice that we hear the most is our own. And here's what makes it bad, because all the negative things that have been spoken over us, right? We begin to believe it internally and we repeat what other people say. I give you a prime example because I'm as transparent as it can be. Remember, I told you guys I couldn't read and write as I was younger. And so sometimes, even today, as being Dr. Zowee, I repeat in my mind, girl, you can't do that. Girl, you can't understand that. Girl, you can't do this. But I have to go back and remind myself, no, devil, you are a liar. I can do this and I will get this done. And so we got to understand that anything that is repeating in our own mind that don't line up with what the master has already said about you is a liar. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Listen, not only are you fearfully and wonderfully made, you are more than a conqueror, not just a conqueror, but you are more than a conqueror. And here's one, Erica, that I found a lot of women kind of have issues with. Girl, you beautiful, honey. You got it going on. Don't let nobody tell you that you don't. Don't let nobody try to compare you to some other woman. You might be loud like me, or you might be quiet or whatever, because I'm loud, honey. But you be you no matter what. Show up in your authentic self, because when you can be as authentic as you can be, then you can help somebody in your truth. And so you got to begin to do words of affirmation over your own life. Now, Erica, this is what I had to do for me. So I don't know if some women may be like me, but before I could say I am, I had to tell myself what I was not. I had to tell myself that I was not a loser. I had to tell myself that I was not ugly. I had to tell myself that I was not dumb. I was not stupid. I had to speak all those things over. I had to tell myself that I am not an orphan. I had to tell myself that I was worth everything that God has said I am. I had to start speaking that I was beautiful. I had to start speaking that I was smart, that I was intelligent, that I was the head and not the tail. You have to start speaking these things over your life. And listen, if you don't have voices that are positive, you be your own voice. You take some of this stuff that we done said on today and you repeat it to yourself until you believe it, because I will be your biggest cheerleader. You will win. In this season, you're going to win. Everything that somebody done said about you that was a lie, you look in the mirror and you tell yourself they was a lie. You don't even have to tell them they lied. You can tell yourself, listen, girl, they lied. And then you get up and you keep it moving. Because, Erica, what I found out in closing, people need encouraging. They need hope. They need something that they can hold on to. I'm here to tell anybody that is feeling like, man, I'm slipping. I'm about to fall. I don't know what to do. Girl, listen, you can make it. You got this. I just believe that all you got to do is start believing you can, and hold on. Reach out to one of us. Let us know that you need help, because get this, it's okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to stay in that place. You're going to have to do something, and you just might have to reach out to somebody. But I'm here to tell you, there are people here that's waiting on you to reach out to us so that we can help you. Listen, Erica, this has been a blessing to me. I thank you for even allowing me to grace your platform. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, I almost started shouting over here, like, Lord. And that's why I really appreciate you coming on my platform. When I heard you on Clubhouse and we connected, Dr. Zowee and I connected through Clubhouse, and then I went into her Instagram, and you touched my soul. You touched my life just by the sound of your voice. And it's a wonderful thing when people are just connected to you by the sound of your voice. That means that God had gave you a gift that draws people to you through the sound of your voice, baby. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful and grateful. And so before we get out of here, Dr. Zowee, I want you to tell everybody, how can they reach you? And I want you to leave them with a nugget that they can take with them for the rest of their life.
Well, thank you. You can reach me on every social media platform. I'm there at Dr. Zowee. That's Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, all of those different things. I want to leave you with this. If you're in a hole and your friend in a hole, they can't help you out the hole. You can't help each other out the hole. I want to leave you with, reach your hand out. Somebody there is waiting on you to ask for help. And those people will be there to help pull the both of you out. And so always know, take care of you first. And I'm good. Thank you.
All right now. And must not forget, you guys got to go get Dr. Zoe's book. Tell them about your book and where.
Yes, How I Made It Over is the name of my book, and it's on Amazon. You can go get it, or you can email me at hello@zoeshanks.com, and I will send you an autographed copy. Yes.
All right. Well, you guys, I want an autographed copy. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting an autographed copy. So send me the link so I can pay for my books, Dr. Zowee, because you have truly blessed me. And I hope Dr. Zowee has blessed someone else here in this platform. And if you guys had any questions, this was the time to ask it. If not, we are going to go home. And so God bless you, Dr. Zowee. I am looking forward to connecting with you in the future. And I'm going to tell you like this. When God brings somebody into my life, it is always for a reason. We end up doing great things together. Yeah. And I knew that in my spirit when I heard you speak the first time, and I had to be obedient and just connect with you, because I never know what it is that he's going to do or what it is that he have us to do. But when he reveals it, I go, okay, God, I'm glad that I was obedient, because it's meant for us to help somebody out here and make a difference. So thank you for coming on the podcast. I'm looking forward to having you back. And you guys heard Dr. Zowee. Follow her on her social media platforms, at Clubhouse and Dr. Zowee, and on Facebook, Dr. Zowee Jamison Shanks, and Instagram, Dr. Zowee, Dr._Zowee. We had to make sure we had it. And you guys go get Dr. Zoe's book. It's on Amazon, unless you want an autographed copy. She got you.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Dr. Zowee, for being on the podcast. And I'm looking forward to you coming back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed Dr. Zowee just as much as I did. I mean, the sister was fire. I mean, like, I don't know, like she just drop all the meat and potatoes. She make me all warm and fuzzy on the inside and make me want to jump in out my chair and start shouting. So I hope you guys walked away with some wonderful nuggets, some wonderful knowledge. And you heard Dr. Zowee. She said that if God blessed you with the gifts and the talents, don't just keep them all to yourself. Reach out and help somebody else. And they reach their hand out, you help them, and then you want to grow out, you reach your hand out, because God sends somebody in your path to help you out. Just like the people help Dr. Zowee, help her read and help her walk into her purpose. She wouldn't have did that if somebody else didn't reach their hand to help her. So that's a message for you. Reach your hand out to help somebody else so that they can grow and glow and walk into their purpose and be them best selves. I'm just so excited. I love her already. Like, she don't even know she my new best friend. So anyway, you guys, I enjoyed you all, and for coming to Erica Lynn Speak podcast. We got some great, exciting things coming up for you all. So make sure that if you're following us, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. You can go to my Instagram, Erica Lynn Speaks. So you can go to my Twitter, Erica Lynn Speaks. And if you guys want to see the webinar, you missed the webinar, it's 5 ways to your next level. All you got to do is go to onestepbeyondyou.com. onestepbeyondyouwebinar.com, or I want you guys to make sure that you get your free, I'm always giving away free stuff, so go to my website, ericalynnspeaks.com, and get your free download today. I love you guys, and I will see you next Friday, every Friday, live at 5 on Erica Lynn Speaks. Always remember, it only takes just one step beyond you. God bless you.
This podcast was brought to you by ericalynnspeaks.com. Sign up for your free consultation today at ericalynnspeaks.com/work with me. And just remember, it only takes just one step beyond
Beyond you. I say Erica Lynn Speaks.